I've had a Job-like experience before. Job from the Bible, the man who God gave everything and then took away everything and then gave Job 2 times what he lost. Now, granted, I didn't experience that level of pain, so I'm not claiming to be like Job, but I have had God bless me before, even when I wasn't a believer. And I think that happens. I do think God blesses people who don't even believe in Him at times. Not for the reason you think, though. And He took it away from me. Let me explain this. In 2021 and 2, I started a YouTube channel called Trey's Trades that was wildly successful. I talked about stocks. I talked about a singular stock really specifically, which was AMC, the movie theater company. And it did well. The YouTube channel grew to 350,000 subscribers. Made a lot of money, had a lot of respect, had a lot of influence, got a lot of attention. And these were all things that God knew that I wanted deeply. Ever since I was a young kid, I told myself, someday my name's gonna be known. Someday I'm gonna have money. Someday I'm gonna have influence. Someday I'm gonna have beautiful women. I'm gonna have all these things that I thought were going to make me happy, because when I was a kid, I was truly unfulfilled. And what's funny, man, is God showed me, not necessarily the lesson that Job got at the time, but He showed me that everything that I wanted was not what I needed, and that it was not Him. And He did this by taking it away from me. And I learned something when He took it away from me, and I was ultimately the one who pulled the trigger and lost everything at the end of the day. But I was a gambling addict when I was running into all this stuff, all this money, all this influence, all this attention, and I gambled away all my money. And slowly over time, my mental state was just deteriorating. I blew it. I lost all my money. I was starting to lose my mental capacity, my ability to speak fluently without getting angry, of course, And in those times, I eventually walked away from YouTube. I walked away because I lost everything, and I was building myself a really deep hole of debt. And what's funny, man, is when I walked away, I realized that I was happier in the end than I was while I had all that stuff. And I think that teaches me sort of 2 big things. Number one, that just like we learn about in Ecclesiastes, not necessarily in Job, but in Ecclesiastes, we learn that everything without God is meaningless. At the end of the book, Solomon essentially says that the pursuit of family, the pursuit of joy, and the pursuit of God are the 3 big things that we should focus on in life. And I've sort of learned that the hard way, because I like to learn everything the hard way, and God knows that about me, that I need to learn everything the hard way. But the second thing that it taught me is that those things weren't God. And looking back on it now, as a Christian, as a follower of Jesus Christ, it is so funny to see how God worked in my life. Even when I wasn't working with Him, God does that. God knows us. God knows all the paths that we can walk. And He knew all the paths that I would walk. And He said, let me show this man that none of these things serve a purpose, so that when he comes home, he knows what to do. And my big takeaway from that now, because I'm returning to social media again, is number one, that I know I need to do this with God. I cannot do this by myself, because when I did this by myself, I blew it. I sought vanity. I sought attention. I sought influence. I sought ego stroking. Truthfully, I just wanted the internet to make me feel good about myself. But the only entity that'll truly make me feel good about myself is God. I need to seek God's approval above all else. But number 2, what it taught me is that I need to be very mindful and choose daily not to allow myself to return back to that state of mind. Just like in Job, when God took everything away, God can do that again. I don't have a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of money right now, but there's always more that we can lose, man. I've got a house, I've got a car, I've got 4 beautiful cats. I've got clothes, I've got food, I've got things, man. And we can always lose more. And at the end of the day, if I do lose more, I need to turn towards God, have faith in God, believe in God, and say, God, you are good. God, there is goodness in this pain, and there is goodness in this suffering, just like there was back then. I'm grateful that I lost everything. I'm grateful I gambled away all my money. I'm grateful that I lost all the respect of people that watch me on YouTube. I'm grateful for that, because God needed to use it to mold me to become who I am today. And I know that my pain and suffering will serve a purpose in the future too. So, yeah, that's my story.